What's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy, and this is One Piece, episode 122 and 123. That's right, we're closing in on the finale of Alabasta, slowly but surely, and I'm so excited to get there. Luffy is back. He is wet, and he's ready to fight Crocodile. If you want that full-length reaction, go to patreon.com/nerdynightly, but if you don't, stay here, because you're already here. And this video is about to begin. Yeah, 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 yeah. Crocodile! Come on, Luffy, you got this. Punch him in his dry face with your wet fisting. This episode is Luffy wet fists Crocodile. This is why I get demonetized on YouTube so much. Crocodile looks fucking out, but I don't think he's that easily beat. You know what I mean? Mostly because there's, what, 8 more episodes in this arc? And I feel like the Luffy Crocodile fight is just the next 8 episodes. Luffy? I heard Luffy. I guess Luffy's in the episode. Oh, that fucking... Yeah, in the last reaction, I was like, I thought they stopped the explosion. No, there's the super cannonball. I'm dumb, guys. Sometimes, I think that's that I watch so much TV for reactions. I need to slow down. I feel like I watch so much that I forget stuff. No, he doesn't. He's not Luffy, Chopper. Luffy's one of a kind. Oh, shit! Teamwork makes the fucking dream works. I really want to see someone cosplay this Usopp. Just run around in a con in, like, toilet paper. I really hope that the live action has him in this outfit for, like, a whole episode. Just running around fully bandaged from head to toe. Oh my god, are you still laughing? Shut up! Oh, it's serious. The hat is off. He's a pirate, haven't you heard? He's gonna be king of the pirates. Does Luffy become... No, he wouldn't work with the world government. Oh, interesting. Wait, but if he's absorbing liquid, how does he turn to sand? Oh, interesting. Look at him learning. Come on, Luffy. He's literally used it differently every time. No, don't throw your water. No, Luffy. How will you stay wet? Oh, no. Luffy, you gotta gum grab that shit right now. Okay. Whew, my heart is racing. Let's go. I haven't felt like this in a while on the show. I mean, he made you bleed. It is different. Water, Luffy! He's leaking from the holes that Crocodile put inside of him. That's wild. Fuck you. I hate her so much. She's just standing around enjoying people's pain. Her whole character is just being on the sidelines to fuck with other people. Interesting. He's blowing bubbles just like Nami was with the climate act. Bazooka! There we go. Whoa! Let's go, Luffy. Ah, getting what he fucking deserves. You know what I mean? The belly. Sound design? They went for it in episode 122. What episode am I? 122. Yeah. No, he didn't. No! Whoa! There he is. Here. How did his hair fall down in front of his face and he's hotter? Like, Crocodile gets hotter the more beat up he is, which maybe that says something about my taste in men, but that is a useful skill. Who needs handcuffs? When you can make literal your hand is the handcuff. God damn. Ooh. Grand Sekku. Oh my god. Is there no limit to how much water he can absorb? I love that he's calling him Water Luffy. Fuck. Is Luffy gonna have to use the dance powder to somehow beat him? Is this gonna all come back to dance powder somehow? God, no wonder this guy's one of the 7 warlords. You can dry out anything? Like, fuck. No, not the pony. Puppy. One of the two. No, Luffy only has 1 pair of shoes. Luffy, you gotta jump. Nami's cardio is unmatched. You know what I mean? That girl's always running. And she is like always a little bit out of breath, but she's never super out of breath. It's an interesting point. What is the size of the cannonball? Oh. One of you can. Oh, nice. Nice. Back of the sword, knockout blow. I don't think that's it. I think that it's a fake out. Yeah. This guy's design is one of my favorite things on the show. I think he is, from the face tattoos to the way the face tattoos blend into his hawk form, it like reminds me of my favorite things about Animorphs, the weirdest book series you could ever read. And I dig him so much. Visually, I don't really know his character very well. I wish I like had a better idea of who he was, but his visual is awesome. Was Nico Robin on Gold D. Rogers' crew? Tashiki! Oh, she was like a kid. Nico Robin. All right. 20 years ago, it's too convenient for her not to have something to do with Goldie Roger, right? Whoa! She's scary as fuck. I feel like it's interesting, right? Because Crocodile's the villain of this arc, but I feel like it's setting her up to be the villain of the future. The connection to Goldie Roger, the 20-year, oh my god. I would think she's dead, but it's the Alabasta arc and nobody dies. So I'm not going to think she's dead. Yay! Oh, I guess the Straw Hat is already dried out, right? His right hand is a problem. That's one way to put it. This is where I'm confused about him. Because, like, I understand that he can absorb moisture. But if he absorbs the moisture, shouldn't he not be able to transform into sand? Because he's wet? Like, that's a lot of water he just took on. I guess he doesn't have any weaknesses. That's rough. He just pretended to have a weakness. Because he knew he looked hotter when he's a little bit beat up. Well, fuck. And the good guys are totally screwed. Completely and fully screwed. Well, that's just great. Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like I would enjoy this a little bit more if there was a consequence for Crocodile in absorbing the liquid. And I'm only saying that because I think that the show is trying to have its cake and eat it too a little bit with him, where his weakness is that Luffy hits him with water. And so you're like, okay, if Crocodile gets wet, he has a problem. But it's only if he gets hit by a punch with water, but if you throw water at him, or if he absorbs millions of pounds of water from the ground, that water doesn't affect his ability to transform, even though it's going into him in the same way. So it's like water on the surface stops his sand shift, but water that he absorbs into his body doesn't. I feel like that's a little bit inconsistent in a way that is making him seem like a convenient villain rather than a villain where the rules really matter, so Luffy has to beat the rules, right? It's a thing that I think Brandon Sanderson does really well in his books, where he will create a rule set for how the magic in his world works, and then he will come up with clever ways to play within that rule set in order to make the fights interesting. This feels like the opposite. This is like, oh, I need Luffy to lose the first fight. Okay, so he can't even land a hit. So then the second fight is going to start with Luffy. He's realizing, oh, the guy can turn into sand. That's the problem. So I'm going to use water to hit him. And that's going to be his weakness. And that's going to work for like 2 punches. And then that is no longer going to work because the rules have changed. And Crocodile now absorbs water, and that's his power now. It wasn't previously, but it is now. And the shift, the why that shift happened, I don't really understand right now. And so it just kind of feels like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, he can now transform while he's wet, but he couldn't at the beginning of the episode for some reason. And so I think that if like the rules around Crocodile's powers were a little bit more clear, I would enjoy this more. I still like it. I think the fight's interesting. I think the emotional things behind the fight are really good. I think the setup of Nico Robin as a villain is great. Like, she's awful in a way that is kind of delicious in terms of narrative storytelling. I think the like we have to stop the cannon stuff, giving everybody else something to do in the background of this episode is really smart. But yeah, like the Luffy Crocodile, I don't want it to come down to an arbitrary sort of like, well, in this moment, his power set didn't work the way that it has at other times. And that's kind of feeling like the direction they're going in this episode. And so, I don't know how, I actually don't know how I feel about it. I think that Crocodile is such a good villain, and he's great because his power set up until now has been mostly his intelligence. Like, his ability to manipulate people has been how he has been winning. And now, like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the villain's weakness being water, but his strength being that he can absorb water. It's such opposites for me. In a way that I don't mind him having the power to absorb water, but there should be a consequence, right? Like it should affect some other part of him. It's interesting. Yeah, let's watch the next episode because I want to see where they're going with this. Because I enjoyed that, but I don't know how I feel about it right now. I think that Crocodile would be more interesting with this power set if he absorbed so much water that he became like harder. Like rather than being able to, when he's dry, he can turn to sand. But when he's like absorbed all that liquid, he becomes like concrete, right? Because we make sand into concrete. So maybe like, I think that would work better for me than it being like, oh, now water doesn't matter. You lose again. That is a fucking visual. Jesus Christ. Did Crocodile get someone pregnant? Who's being born? He's gonna get rehydrated by the water in the air, right? Yeah, this is gonna fall on Luffy. Okay. The Mortuary Temple. Clever.
ポーネグリフを読めるのか？
ええ。クロコダイルと私が手を組んだのは。だから彼には私を殺せない。
アラバスタの王家は代々これを守ることが義務付けられている。私たちにとってはただそれだけのもの。
He showed her the way thinking it wouldn't matter because no one could read it, but she can. Fuck. Oh, Cobra, I'm sorry, dude. You got played. Sorry, Tashigi. Oh, that noise! I hate Nico Robin so much. Oh, I hate her. The thing that, okay, the reason why I think I hate Nico Robin so much is that, like, Crocodile's bad, obviously, and I hate him as well. But Nico Robin seems to, like, choose ways in which to make the way she hurts people as painful as possible. She's cruel in the way that she hurts people. It's not as simple as, like, oh, I'll knock them out. It's like, I'm going to shatter their leg in the most, like, violent and, like, painful way I can think of.
Crocodile.
Oh, no. What a prick. I'm doing acting exercises, Zoro. A million lives? Okay, so the rebel army had 2 million people, which means that a million people, at least a million people have already died. That's insane. Either that or he just doesn't know how many people are in the rebel army, but Chopper does know how many people are in the rebel army. Fuck, have a million people died? I mean, it would make sense, actually, given the fighting so far, that half their force would be wiped out. That's quite the position to pause in. Let me kick some holes in these walls. Come on, Tashigi, it's an enemy of my enemy is my friend situation. Let's move a little bit faster here. Come on. I would love if she pointed Luffy in the wrong direction because she can't see. She doesn't have her glasses on, so she's... This is a serious moment. I shouldn't be laughing. I'm a bad person. Damn. Oh, shit. Does Tashiki join the crew?
おかしいな。肉食ったのに。なんだこのぐらいの傷で。
Dude, you were pierced all the way through your body. What do you mean, small wounds? Do you see the thickness, the girth of his hook? That shit's crazy. The cut from Luffy bleeding out on the ground to the fucking music there was wild. Oh, Crocodile doesn't know where the stairs are. Never mind. They're still open. Yep.
他にはもうないの？これがこの国の隠してるすべて。306年、エルマルにタフ大聖堂を完成。325年、オルテアの英雄マモ。
おいおい待て待て。俺たちが知りてえのはそんなことか？この国の歴史なんざ知ったこっちゃねえ。
Wait, is it on a poneglyph that's in that underground cavern that they found?
お前は優秀なパートナーだったが、ここで殺すとしよう。記されていても、お前は花から俺に教える気がなかったとでも。
Hey, come on, Nico Robin, you gotta keep your secrets better.
水をかぶればナイフも刺さるでしょう。よけた。どこへ？
Damn. I thought she was gonna last longer.
なぜなら俺は最初から誰一
Now we
人
won't. No, she's gonna be fine because she's got to be connected to Goldie Roger somehow.
崩壊する仕組みになっている。お前たちは私とここで死ぬのだ。
Oh, I'm burying us all alive, Crocodile.
お前ごときにこの砂の国はやれん。
Let's go, Cobra. Okay. Did her shoes just explode? The fuck just happened?
とにかくみんなを呼ぶぞ。間違いねえんだな。必殺。
I would go to where it is and then signal them. Because you guys are now going to run there and then they're going to go to where you signaled. Oh. Zoro, what are you doing? Cat nap. It's taking a cat nap.
よく寝た。
Yeah, for like 40 seconds.
うわ、逃げた。
I guess all he needs is like 30 seconds of sleep. No, Luffy, don't go down there. It's collapsed. Oh, shit.
ワニっぽいね。
Fuck. It looks Gator-ish. That's funny.
すべての岩盤を砂に変えて俺は脱出できる。
Of course he wouldn't die by land. He can just become one with it. Fuck. That's violent. Luffy. God damn it. Well, fuck. The show's crazy. It's crazy, man. The plot's great. I'm really enjoying the plot of this. Moment to moment, there's stuff in this arc that I don't think that I like very much. I'm just gonna be honest about it. I think that it's gotten, and I hope that this doesn't happen as much in the future. But I think there's just a few too many fake out deaths, right? Like because I can't imagine Nico Robin's dead. But the show wants me to feel like she is, in a way that I don't know. Like they're really leaning on that one thing in this arc, and I just think that like I think you can do one per arc maybe. You know what I mean? You can get away with that once per arc. You can kind of get away with it occasionally, But this arc just feels like it is really harping on this one idea that people can be. We're going to end episodes with it looking like these characters are dead, and they're just not. And it's something that I commented on in The Wheel of Time, and a lot of different franchises that we've talked about, where I'm just like, all authors need to be aware of the fact that when you do this too much, you lose value in your story. And I think that Alabasta arc is just too much for one arc. It's going to the same well too many times, and that well is already fucking dry. And I don't know. It's just it's interesting that this keeps happening. I don't, because even this time I don't really understand the narrative purpose of it. Right? You could have had the Crocodile shove her into the room with the poneglyph and close the doors on her, instead of. And you get the same effect, right? Like you end the episode with her banging on the door, and all she can do is like push her arms through the door, but she can't get out. And the temple's going to collapse on her. You get the same effect without leaning into the exact same visual that you've already done 10 episodes ago with Luffy. And so when you're just kind of it's just interesting. But other than that, I think that there's really good stuff going on. I love that it is not 100% clear whether or not the poneglyph had the relevant information on it. I think that we don't know if Nico Robin knows where the Pluton is or not. And so when she is inevitably fine in the next episode, I think that it's going to be really cool moving forward to see where she takes that information, right? She's clearly not someone that you can let have that kind of weapon, right? And so if this is the setup for the next arc, is our Straw Hats are going to chase Nico Robin down, stop her from using the Pluton on whichever is the next set of islands. I think that this is a really strong setup for that. Other than maybe the fact that, like, if Luffy beats Crocodile and Crocodile wiped out Nico Robin, why is she a threat moving forward? It kind of gets into that weird power scaly kind of conversation that I don't always love, but is somewhat relevant. Is like, how do you make Nico Robin plus Pluton information scarier than Baroque Works, which has just been such a well-written organization, right? Like you really buy that these group of people got together and succeeded because they are so good at this plan that is so meticulous. And honestly, moving forward, this is a high bar for villainy for the show to try and match, right? The plans that the villains have to succeed will be, compared to how good Crocodile's plan was. And it's pretty meticulous. And like, there's little cracks in it that our heroes are trying to squeeze through, but they're not really succeeding that well, right? They're barely getting by on Crocodile, and he always seems to have a counter proposal for what they're trying to do. And I love that about him. I think that Crocodile is a much more interesting villain to me intellectually than he is physically. And he's such a dangerous threat physically. So what does that say about his intellect, right? And I love that. It's so compelling. I'm loving the way the story is going. Cobra, man. King Cobra deserves so goddamn much respect for this. Like, yes, obviously it's not going to work because, Crocodile can get out. But Cobra doesn't know that. Cobra is making this heroic sacrifice, not knowing that it's in vain. And that to me is, it's just so emotional, right? Because you're just like, oh, fuck, man. This guy just wants to do the right thing by everybody. And at every turn, Crocodile has defeated him. And it's so sad in a way. Like it's this like Shakespearean tragedy of this king who really has the best in his heart for his people. And it's not enough, right? It's not enough to want to do the right thing. You have to have the information, and Crocodile has more information. The most important element in every single war is information, and Crocodile has agents pulling this shit off. And King Cobra doesn't know about any of it. And that's crazy. It's crazy to watch. It's so good. So yeah, on like the episodes are both like working for me and not working for me on different levels. On the one level, I think the story's amazing. And then on some of the like shock value moments, it's sort of like it's sort of like a horror movie using too many jump scares in the first half and then trying to use jump scares in the second half, and they don't work anymore because your audience is just a little bit bored of that one thing. And I think that that's what I would compare it to. It's a mediocre horror film that just is like, oh, jump scares work. And the reason why jump scares work is because you space them out. And I think that fake out deaths work if you space them out. And this just isn't. So like that side of it doesn't work for me, but everything else does. The characterizations really do. Crocodile's an amazing villain. I hate Nico Robin. Like I despise her. And so like if she were to die here, I wouldn't be that sad. Like the world is probably better off without this cruel woman out here fucking snapping legs and shit. Jesus. But yeah. I'm not, I always preach, y'all. My reaction is always going to be super honest. And while I am loving One Piece, and every time I turn on, I'm so excited, I wish that I was loving Alabasta more. Because this arc is big, and there's huge ideas being played with. And I wish the, like, smaller details were as strong as the broad strokes. But these broad strokes in Alabasta are so good that I'm, like, willing to forgive it a little bit in my analyzing of it, if that makes sense. Yeah, if you like this video, like, subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Leave mean comments down below because the algorithm god is hungry and we must feed her. This episode, that algorithm goddess is... I'm going to give it to Nico Robin because she's dead. She's fine. She's going to be A-okay. If you want to follow me around the internet, you can. I'm at nerdynightly. As always, y'all, do something nerdy tonight. Bye.